Good morning, beautiful. Look how tired I am. This is such a testimony. I'm the girl who had insomnia for about, oh gosh, I don't know, from my teens into my 30s, 15 years. I never slept. I wanted to sleep, I just couldn't sleep. My mind was always, brrr. And so now I sleep so much. So when I was asking God what to fast, I felt like He was calling me into a fast. And you can fast food, you can fast entertainment, social media, you can fast anything that God calls you to fast. And I felt like He said He was calling me to fast sleep, so I've been getting up early, which is huge for me because I normally get my kids off to school and then go back to bed for a couple more hours. But that's how good He is. I'm getting so much sleep. I have overflow of sleep. I want to just reminisce with you. Friends, I feel like you're my friends, not just friends on Facebook. I'm pouring my life into you, my heart into you, and just loving on you. And I want to keep telling you how beautiful and lovely you are, and how much potential you have. You're pregnant with purpose. And I'm going to keep telling you and telling you and telling you because we're so resistant to those truths. We're so hard on ourselves. We don't believe it. And I'm at the nursing home all the time, and I just want to share some tender moments with you. I don't share with anybody. I lose my friends all the time. At least in this time, I'm going to see them again. But when they pass on, and I just pour in, and I love them so much. And only Jesus can do that, cause me to fall in love with 80, 90-year-old people as just like dear, dear, precious friends to me. And I lost two recently to death temporarily. And I want to share something about two of them is Juanita and Ruth. And so Juanita is beautiful, and you could tell she was a hot mama in her day, like gorgeous, like the kind, like a Marilyn Monroe, like you would turn your head to look at her. So even in her 80s, she's really beautiful, and I'd go in and I would kiss her on the forehead, and I'd look at her, and I'd say, Juanita, you are so lovely. And she would just always have these eyes, and she would go, really? She's just like, so that's what we are. We're oblivious to God's love. We're oblivious to the beauty in us. And it needs drawn out. And I would tell her all the time, you're so lovely. Jesus loves you so much. And this went on for over a year and a half. Of like 3 times a week I'd go in and love on her and tell her. And near the end, I would go in there and she stopped arguing with me. Like, really? Are you sure? I hope so. I'd say, Jesus, and she'd say, thank you. There's something so powerful about just saying thank you to a compliment. Thank you to the love of God. Just receive it today that you're beautiful and lovely. I miss her so much. And then recently, Ruth was like really, I don't know, old, in her 90s. And she would just do laps around the whole nursing home all the time. I mean, because she didn't know what else to do, but she could move in her wheelchair, so she would just move and go round and round and round, and I'd always stop her, and I'd say, Ruth, hi, and she was a little bit hard of hearing, so I'd be yelling literally in the nursing home. I'd say, Jesus loves you, and she'd say, what? And I'd say, Ruth, and I'd get real close to her and look her in the eyes. I'd say, Jesus loves you. He thinks you're beautiful. And she would say, I hope so. I hope so. And that's what they would always say too when I would share the gospel. A lot of them, I hope so. I hope it's true. And it's so beautiful how I get to see the transformation. So Ruth just passed 2 weeks ago, and I went in to love on her. And I knew she was going soon. And she couldn't talk anymore. And I grabbed her eyes and I got really close to her face. And I said, Ruth, Jesus loves you. She nodded. There was no argument. She got to see his eyes as I looked in her eyes, how much he loved her. Tell somebody be so, I mean, I am so not about, if you know me, I am so not about, gosh, I can't think of the word right now. My brain doesn't work this early in the morning. But where you are flippant with compliments. I'm not about flattery. That's what I was thinking. I'm not about flattery at all. So it's not about that. But I want you to just be intentional and tell people they're beautiful. They don't know it. They have no clue. Seriously. They have no clue how much they're loved. And so as you tell it and tell it and tell it with the love of Christ coming out of you, that balm, you carry his presence, you're his fragrance, they start to taste and see that he's good and that it's true. So I love you. Tell somebody that you love them today. Tell them that they're beautiful. Tell them they have value. Tell them not to give up. All right? You and me, we're going to do this. We're going to love people well and change the world. Shalom.